This is Mackenzie Sharilla. She is charged with multiple offenses, including murder, aggravated vehicular homicide, felonious assault, and drug possession. She was just 17 years old when she caused a car crash that killed her boyfriend, Dominic Russo, and his friend, David Flanagan, in the early morning of July 31, 2022. Prosecutors argued this was no accident. This was intentional. Mackenzie allegedly planned the crash in advance, choosing to drive the same route days before the fatal event. On the day of the crash, Mackenzie's car collided into the side of a commercial building outside Cleveland at 100 miles per hour. Both Dominic and David were pronounced dead at the scene, while Mackenzie survived. Prosecutors said she had a toxic relationship with Dominic, had made violent threats. In court, the prosecution showed video footage. The footage demonstrated her driving calmly, making a turn, and then accelerating straight into the building. The intent, prosecutors argued, was obvious.
You see her driving very calmly and making the right turn, and then all evidence indicates she immediately put the pedal to the metal and drove straight into a building at 100 miles per hour. I think those really demonstrated to us that this was no accident.
When the judge announced the verdict, Mackenzie stood to be placed in handcuffs, tears streaming down her face. She had a chance to speak before sentencing and said,
"The families of Dominic I'm so deeply sorry. I hope one day you can see I would never let this happen or do it on purpose. I wish I could remember what happened. I'm just so sorry. I'm heartbroken. I love Dom and Davion. We were all friends and Dom was my soulmate. I wish I could take all your pain away, and I'm so sorry. And to my family, thank you for the support and all the love you guys give. Thank you for fighting for me. I love you all so much. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you.
The judge responded,
There was no medical condition that caused this as an accident. There was no mechanical failure of the car. The record is clear on the facts and the evidence.
She was sentenced on
Count 2, the murder of Davion Flanagan, 15 years to life. She's sentenced on Count 1, the murder of Dominic Russo, 15 years to life.
to be served concurrently. The courtroom fell silent as she realized her life had just changed forever. If you thought this case was shocking, the next one is even more disturbing. This is Conrad Schaefer, who faced 2 counts of first-degree murder in Florida in July of 2013. At just 15 years old, Conrad stole his father's gun in an effort to impress his older friends. What began as reckless behavior quickly escalated into deadly violence that shook an entire neighborhood. The first victim was 17-year-old David Guerrero.
They say the victim was 17-year-old David Guerrero. Guerrero was walking to catch a bus to work early this morning when someone shot him and left him lying by that light post across the street, bleeding.
A witness nearby heard what sounded like a gunshot and saw Guerrero collapse near a light post along the road.
I was walking down the sidewalk and a car went by and it sounded like a gunshot. The guy's laying here along the road. I don't know if they shot him or what.
Emergency services rushed him to the hospital, but he later died from his injuries. As devastating as that was, the violence didn't stop there. Just days later, on July 4th, a second victim was found.
This large kitchen knife was found resting on top of Eric Roopnarine's chest on July 4th. The 22-year-old Point Siena man was also found with a gunshot wound to the face when Osceola County Sheriff's deputies arrived to his home on Mendoza Lane.
22-year-old Eric was discovered dead inside his home with a gunshot wound to the face. Investigators soon uncovered that Conrad and his friends believed Eric had recently received a large financial settlement from a car accident. According to court documents, the group planned a robbery. With the help of Victoria Rios, who gained entry to the home, they confronted Rutter and demanded money. When he was unable to give them more than a small amount, he was shot. Despite the seriousness of the crimes, Conrad Schaefer nearly got away with it. However, a critical mistake sealed his fate. A bullet casing was left behind at the scene. Forensic testing revealed markings unique to the gun that had been used, effectively acting as a fingerprint. That evidence led police straight to Schaefer and his accomplices. All involved were arrested before any further harm could be done. In court, Schaefer apologized to the victims' families, expressing regret for his actions.
But I just feel like I need to apologize, and I really am sorry for what I've done. And I know I got a good time, wish it never happened. I wish I could take it back. I wish I could change things, but I can't.
But the families rejected his apology, calling for the harshest punishment possible.
Let them suffer and die and rot in jail. Life imprisonment, 100 years each one of them. That is what I want.
Conrad Schaefer was ultimately convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison.
Got one first-degree murder, sentenced to life in prison, possibility of a hearing after 25 years.
He will be well into his 40s before he is ever eligible for a chance at freedom. After committing a murder for money, some crimes hit even closer to home. But what sort of motive would someone have to murder their own mother? This is Gregory Ramos, facing charges of first-degree murder, abuse of a dead body, and tampering with evidence in Volusia County, Florida. The case began on November 2, 2018. That afternoon, Ramos called 911, claiming he had come home to find his house ransacked. He told the dispatcher that his mother, Gail Clevenger, was missing. Her car was still in the driveway, the engine running, but she was nowhere inside the home.
911, where's your emergency?
I just got home and my house is completely trashed. It looks like someone broke in the side door.
Okay. How long have you been gone?
I've been gone all school day, and my mom's car is here and it's on, and she's not home. And she was supposed to go to work today, and I can't find her.
Your mom is, okay. Your mom's car is there. Is there any other way she ever gets to work? Does she ever get a ride from anyone else?
It's on. The car is on. It's turned on.
And you're sure she is not there?
I searched the entire place. I've been here for like 8 minutes. I can't find her.
Okay, I want you to stay on the phone with me. We are not going to disconnect until I have an officer that is with you, okay?
Okay.
When police arrived, they noticed signs of disturbance inside the house.
I had a radio here, and I had an extension cord with an alarm clock, and then I had my $1,000 computer here.
But investigators quickly began to see inconsistencies in Ramos's story. Items he claimed were stolen didn't make sense, and his behavior raised red flags during questioning.
So what did they tell you? I'm not telling you what they told me, because I don't have to tell you what they told me. You tell me what happened.
I already told you what happened.
Tell me you didn't kill your mother.
I didn't.
Who killed your mother?
I have zero clue.
Who took the shit out of your house?
Well, you just told me. Apparently it's my friends.
And when did they think they did that?
I have zero clue.
Do you honestly believe the things that are coming out of your mouth?
Yeah.
So when your buddy says that you told him you killed your mother, he's lying.
The interview grew tense as officers challenged his version of events. Eventually, Ramos broke down and admitted the truth.
I'll tell you what happened. Alright, so I got home, I got an argument with my mom. He slapped me across the face. He began to hit me. He started beating me. I didn't like it, so I strangled her to death. Alright? I put her in a wheelbarrow. I put her in my car. I took the car. I had a mental breakdown where I almost committed suicide 3 times. I drove around Daytona. I dropped the wheelbarrow in some random ass location. And then I drove back to the church. I began to dig a hole. I dig a hole right under the f***ing fire pit. I dug a pretty deep hole. Pretty deep. Deep enough to put a body in. Alright? All this time my mom's decomposing body, I dragged it from my car to the fire pit. In which case, I tried to cut the wedding ring off her finger because I wanted to pawn it, but I couldn't because I didn't have a knife strong enough to cut bones. Oh well, whatever. Anyways, so I dug that hole, threw her body in there, filled it back in, made it look all nice and natural, dumped my clothes. I went to school with my friend, and yeah.
He confessed that an argument with his mother over his school grades escalated and ended in her death.
And yeah, what about the part that you staged a crime scene?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part. In the middle of the night, I realized that, hey, my mom just up and disappears. That's not going to make any sense. That make it look like a box from I just went to my house. What pretty good been saying. Yeah.
Investigators later confirmed the details of his confession, leading to his arrest. Ramos was charged with first-degree murder, abuse of a dead human body, and tampering with physical evidence. In court, Gregory Ramos pleaded guilty to all charges.
Guilty to first-degree murder, abuse of a dead human body, tampering with physical evidence. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you do it?
Yes, Your Honor.
He was sentenced to 45 years in the custody of the Florida Department of Corrections.
The sentence for count 1 is 45 years in the custody of the Florida Department of Corrections, followed by lifetime probation.
After taking a life at home, some crimes happen among peers, but what could drive someone to murder a classmate? This is Aiden Fucci, who pleaded guilty to the murder of his classmate when he was 14 years old. Aiden Fucci was a student at Patriot Oaks Academy in St. Johns County, Florida. The victim was a 13-year-old girl who attended the same school. On the day of the murder, the two were seen together walking through a residential neighborhood near her home. Later that day, the girl's body was discovered in a wooded area. Investigators determined she had been stabbed 114 times. Of those wounds, 49 were defensive, indicating she tried to fight back. 35 wounds were to the head and neck, 29 to the back and shoulder, and 6 were determined to be fatal. Fucci was arrested shortly afterward. While sitting in the back of a patrol car, he was recorded smiling, laughing, and taking snapshot photos.
Having fun in a cop car. Yeah.
Which he posted online. The images quickly spread across social media, drawing widespread outrage to his apparent lack of remorse. In interrogation footage, Fucci is seen sitting with his parents as detectives confront him.
That Snapchat that you did was not very smart.
That's all over. You're all over the internet network. This is serious.
It's very serious.
This isn't no joke. This is your whole life. Your whole life.
And ours.
And ours.
Prosecutors later presented surveillance footage showing Fucci and the victim walking together shortly before the murder. Approximately 90 minutes later, another video shows Fucci allegedly running away from the area where the victim's body was later found. Additional physical evidence recovered during the investigation further linked him to the crime. Facing overwhelming evidence, Fucci pleaded guilty to first-degree murder. At sentencing, the judge addressed him in court.
114 stab wounds, 49 defensive wounds, 35 wounds to the head and neck, 29 to the back and shoulder, and 6 fatal wounds.
As the sentence was handed down, Fucci stood nearly motionless in the courtroom, showing minimal reaction as he was formally committed to life in prison.
Having entered a plea of guilty to the crime of first-degree murder, I sentence you to life in prison. Because of your age, you are eligible for review of the sentence in 25 years.
After one student killed a classmate, what could push another to murder their teacher? This is Willard Miller and Jeremy Goodale. At just 16 years old, they were charged with the murder of their high school Spanish teacher. The reason was due to a bad grade. Miller was a student at Fairfield High School in southeastern Iowa, where no Hema Graber taught Spanish. Upset by the grade he received, Miller and Goodale decided to take her life. They waited for her on her usual walking route in Shadow Walk City Park. When she passed by, Miller struck her in the back of the head. He hit her several more times to make sure she was dead. Then, they dragged her into the woods and beat her with a baseball bat until she died. Afterward, their crime was exposed when a witness came forward with Snapchat messages showing their involvement. One chilling message read, "Point of view, you're my Spanish teacher, and this is the last thing you see," followed by time to hide a body. Jeremy Goodale eventually pleaded guilty and testified against Miller.
Stand up here, just look out, walk up behind her, and I think we walked back out onto the trail to wait for Miss Claire to show up. We bumped into her on the trail, we said, "Oh, hi, how are you?" And kept walking. He kind of gave me like a nod, saying, "Here she comes." And I gave her a signal and it's all clear. She walked by and hit her in the back of the head. And I said, "Oh, shit, make sure she's dead." So we hit her a couple more times. I heard something gurgling coming from this area. Grabbed the bat and that's fine. Made sure she didn't have to completely stay.
Before his sentence, he expressed remorse.
I've had time to think on what to say, and I'm sorry. Truly sorry. What I've taken can never be replaced. Every day I wish I could go back and stop myself prevent this loss and this pain that I've caused everyone.
He was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole after 25 years.
Defendants shall be sentenced to life with the possibility of parole after 25 years.
Miller also apologized in court.
I know what I did was wrong, and I accept responsibility for my carelessness, for my ignorance.
Taking responsibility for his actions and asking for a chance at the future. The judge sentenced him to life with the possibility of parole after 35 years.
Defendant Willard Noble Chady Miller should be sentenced to life with the possibility of parole after 35 years.
Despite the sentence, Miller remained calm and unshaken. These teens made choices that changed their lives forever. Which case shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments and hit that subscribe button to stay updated on every true crime story we cover.